Hey guys, this is Shrimmer Carlos. On today's video, I'm going to give you my rolling review of the documentary that just came out on Disney Plus today, Beatles 64. So here we go. Guys. I love this documentary because it talks about the original quartet that made us guys jealous. That made us guys jealous and girls melt. Of course, I'm talking about the wonderful quartet that we know and love, and we call them legends, and they should be called legends. Of course, I'm talking about Ringo, George, Paul, and John, the Beatles. And guys, this documentary is about the major splash that the Beatles made here in the U.S., better known as the British invasion. To be more specific and accurate and more in target, it talks about the Beatles' first appearance in the Ed Sullivan Show. The first television appearance in America. In the wonderful show hosted by the great Ed Sullivan, the Ed Sullivan Show. And man, and let me tell you, if you wanted someone to compete with the adulation, with the screaming tones that Elvis brought to the table when he exploded on the scene. Yes, exploded on the scene. The Beatles are the British version of Elvis. Of course, they're four, but man, yes. So the pandemonium, the good type of pandemonium, the good type of pandemonium that the Beatles caused and obviously made police worried about safety regarding crowd sizes and regarding stampedes of screaming girls and guys, because yes, and guys, don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed, and don't hide it. If you lived in 1964, don't hide your fandom of Beatlemania. Now, the Beatles came to the US at a critical time, because the year prior, exactly, to be more specific, to be more accurate, the November before 1960, before the Beatles came, we had lost a president to an assassin's bullet under the Texas sun, under the Texas sun and skyline of Dallas, Texas. So we needed some joy. We needed some peace. We needed some joy. We were still, even though I born in 1963 and 1964. If I was there, I would probably need. I would have probably needed something to pick me up from losing a president, our president. And that's exactly what the Beatles brought. Joy, excitement, happiness, and yes, craziness. The good type of craziness. But they they also they also brought their personalities. We guys, we wanted to be Ringo, John, George, and Paul individually or all together as a cover group of the Beatles, and they brought they in a way they brought after they sadly broke up in 1974 or 1971. In the later decades, in the later years, including in current times, they thanks to them, even though I'm not a fan, thanks to them, if it wasn't for the Beatles, we wouldn't have met. We wouldn't have met One Direction, and also the Beatles made bold cuts look awesome and not funny like Mo from Three Stooges. And obviously throughout the years, even though it's been a long time since we have seen the Beatles all together, tragically because we lost John and George, but we still have two Beatles. We still have two Beatles alive and well, carrying or picking up and creating their own legacy of their own by themselves, and carrying and making us never forgetting what all four of them did. And yes, and guys, all we need is Beatles. All we need is Beatles. Particularly, I believe right now. I believe right now we should. I believe right now many of you are hearing and listening to the wonderful quartet of the Beatles, or maybe just Paul McCartney, or Ringo just by himself. If you are, I'm glad that you are listening to them. And the Beatles were the good and happy cup of tea that we needed after the assassination of JFK. They brought so much more. They brought so much more. They brought so much to us. Joy, excitement, chaos, craziness, a good type of craziness. But they also brought their personality, their own, their single, their individual personalities. And with that being said, guys, again, let it Beatle. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this video, and let me know. What did you think about this documentary? And also let me know if you want to in the comments. What is your favorite Beatles song? And if you could create your own Beatles band, who would you put as John, your John, Ringo, George, and Paul. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Remember to leave a like, and guys, let it Beatle. Bye.